community and neighborhood liaison. He obviously understands how good communities work. It is my pleasure to introduce San Mateo City Council member Robert Ross.
Ladies and gentlemen, first I'd like to thank you for stepping out in the rain. There's very few causes that will get people out in the water, and this is something that's really important. But before I go on, I do need to preface my statements, and what I mean by that is I can guarantee that we take a poll, not everybody's going to agree on every issue with the high-speed rail in this crowd. So I need to let you know that anything that I say in reference to my views, my opinions, and characterizations aren't necessarily the views and the opinions of the city of San Mateo or the other council people. So I'm speaking as a community activist and also a concerned citizen. I've often been asked, why are you going to these crazy meetings? Why do you go to these controversial protests and events? The truth of the matter is, I need to know what each and every one of you think. I need to know what your opinions are. I need to know when you think something's good and when something's bad, because if I don't, I can't make good decisions. And I don't profess to have all the answers. I guarantee you that there's many experts in many fields in this crowd. And I got to tell you, I know for sure that many of you have given hundreds of hours and probably thousands of dollars of expertise to get this particular issue out here and get it known to this point. You know, I'm getting a little bit tired, and I'd imagine you are too, of being characterized as a person who says, hey, I want this done right. And if I want it done right, that means that I don't want it done at all. Have you heard that? Certainly I have. And the truth of the matter is, we really do just want it done right. If they're saying that we are unable or unwilling to accept a substandard transportation system and one that's not financially accountable, I guess they're right. You and your group have been called the vocal minority. I actually think you're the educated minority. The truth of the matter is, if you get everybody else educated like they're trying to get you to do today, there's going to be a whole lot more dialogue. There's going to be deep drilling into the issues and the finances and the oversight on that accounting. You've been called a bunch of rich people. Well, I kind of take a little bit of exception to that, because in my area, when I walk the railroad tracks, to be very honest with you, I have people like Pat Bumgardner, who's 72 years old, who raised her family there in that house for 42 years, who barely got by and has low payments and is worried about being displaced. She is so used to doing what she does in that community that if you put her somewhere else, it's going to mentally challenge her. It's going to rock her life. So I'm concerned about her. I'm concerned about Roberto Rodriguez, who went there and took a house that really looked like trash, and it's got marble countertops. It's really nice. He's got 5 children. He's trying to raise his kids, so I'm sorry. I don't see a lot of real rich people in San Mateo living along those railroad tracks. You know, I really applaud everybody for coming out, but also for digging into the issues, for asking things like, what is your business plan? How much is this really going to cost? Does this make sense? Does this pencil out? What are these ridership numbers? Where did you get these numbers, and how did you come up with them? How is this going to affect our taxes? What's going to happen to the local businesses, and what's going to happen to the local city taxes when these people and these businesses are displaced during that time? We're already in bad economic times, and we can't lose any more jobs in this area. We can't lose any more business, nor to be quite honest with you, to deliver services to you, we can't lose any more tax money. I have a long list of things that you've asked, because to be honest with you, I've been involved with you since the very beginning. What's that mean? I've been listening. I've been going to all the different meetings. I've been coming to your house, knocking on your doors, walking the rail corridor. You know, I know that you've been concerned, and I think some of the major issues were a lack of local representation here on this board. You have a rail board that really isn't representative of our area. How can they protect your interest? But you brought that up. Obviously, I'm going to skip some of these things because, to be honest with you, they've already been talked about. But it's got to do with some of the conflicts of interest and some of the not looking over some of these contracts and paying people 80% of those contracts prior to them doing the work. You know, I think that your overall community, too, because you are in the minority, you're out here in the rain, your overall community really should appreciate and support your efforts, but you need to get the message to them. I'm going to ask you something that's near and dear to me. Please don't discount the efforts of your local politicians. These people behind the scenes are working this thing as many ways as they possibly can. It may appear on the surface that they're not doing anything. The truth of the matter is they're brainstorming just like you're brainstorming and trying to do what is politically correct, what's the best in your interest. So please, when you look at your councils and you look at your local representatives, please know that down deep, their guts are churning just like yours, and they feel responsible for you. You know, our country, our state, our cities, and individuals all face local, worldwide competitiveness, local economic issues. We're hoping that those won't come by every 3 minutes. We have a lot of competitive challenges in front of us. So to take on one issue and try to kill it or not work with it, I really think is a big mistake. If we don't meet the financial challenges of our future as a nation, as a state, as a county, and as a city, hey, we're going to fail. And the truth of the matter is, we can't fight. We may argue and we may listen to each other, but we certainly need to work together on that. I need to share with you that I'm not against the rail. I know as a whole and wholeheartedly believe that we must build systems that will get people and goods. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm telling you this. I'm going to challenge you. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is this. Look at things globally. Don't just look at things locally. And what I mean by that is look at our financial future. Look at our economics. Look at our systems.
What's in San Francisco? That's what we have.
Would I argue with you? I'm up here because I don't argue with that. Does San Francisco got a better system? Did they tear down a Central Freeway? Hey, you're my energy. You're the guy who feeds me. That's not a problem. I agree with you. But the real truth of the matter is, if all of us were trying to run this nation, we might look at things just a little bit differently, because guess what? We've had a good life in this country for a long time. And I'm going to submit to you that some generations have not had to walk as hard as you have. You know what? Okay. That's okay. Just let me finish up here. My challenge to you actually is get involved. If you want to be involved, get on the boards, get on the commissions, get out here, rile people up.
Get involved. Get involved. Get involved.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, why did Palo Alto launch this so quickly, unlike us? They
It wasn't
launched
quick.
this in a day.
It wasn't quick.
Am I wrong?
She's, yeah, he says it's not a forum, but I'll talk to you after.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out how we can be more effective. That's it. That's the reason.
Well, see, I look at it this way. When you have politicians, and watch this, I like Palo Alto. I've met with them, talked to them, and everything. No, really, it's another avenue. If they want to sue, God bless them. Watch this. Sue. Get as much advice as you can. Share that with your neighboring cities so that we can get that for free. Hey, I'm just saying. The real truth is, you here today, you're another poker. You guys are all soldiers, whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter which way you come at the enemy. It just matters that you cover all the angles. It's very important that you cover the angles. I'll end. I've got a lot to say, but certainly I've been at it for hours.
Thank you, Robert. You know, Robert makes some excellent points. And I want to make another point, and that is we are here in Burlingame, obviously. And Robert's from San Mateo, and you just heard from the mayor of Burlingame. The issue is this. There is discontent throughout the state of California, not just here in Burlingame. We have people here from Menlo Park. We have people here from Bisbrayne. We have people here from Palo Alto. We have people here from all over the state of California. In fact, you see the signs that people are holding? Hundreds and hundreds of those signs have been shipped to Southern California and Central California. This is a movement that goes throughout the state of California, not just Burlingame. There is discontent everywhere, my friends. And just to prove my point, our next speaker is concerned at how high-speed rail is going to affect her community. She has always been outspoken. She has always been straightforward. I'm sure she will be that way today. Brisbane City Councilwoman Seppi Richardson, all the way from Brisbane.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Seppi Richardson. I'm one of the elected officials in Brisbane. Actually, one of your sisters. in Peninsula. So I'm going to make a few speech and a few comments in Persian version. Hope you can understand it. And we're minding our business and trying to have a development in the Baylands in Brisbane. And one day we get a call and they want to give us a tour of the maintenance facilities of Caltrain in San Jose. We go there and they say, oh, it's going to be the same size. So from day one, I objected to that. Then in no time at all, we're hearing that they have decided to go ahead and put this maintenance yard in Brisbane. At first, it was supposed to be 25 acres. Later on, it's gone to 150. And you know, when government makes an estimate, double that, triple that, that's not going to be the case and so forth. So originally, when this Peninsula concerned citizen started, I thought it doesn't really apply to our city. I'm going to back out. But then I started noticing what they're doing. This is not called for, this is not acceptable, and I'm not going to just sit there and say, oh, come and do what you need to do. We have major problems, financial concerns. Our citizens are getting old. Most of us lives in the hills. How are you going to get me from my hillside down to where you want to talk about the public transportation? There is no talk about that. All we're talking about north and south, hardly any conversation about south and west, or I mean east and west, and that really bothers me. One of the things that bothers me, when you ignore people's wishes and dreams, I call it dictatorship. I came here about, thank you. 40 years ago, I came here from Iran because they have absolutely no respect for the desires of our community, for the wishes of the people and so forth. And that is not acceptable. I'm going to defend that. This is my country. This is what I know about America, and we're going to continue doing that. And remember, there are 19 cities just alone in Peninsula. In our PCC group, the Peninsula Concerned Citizen, we have only six cities out of the 19 cities. What I'd like you to do, call every one of your council members in any of those cities to ask them to join, to be at the table. Because if you're not going to be at the table, you're going to end up getting what you're going to end up getting, and that is not acceptable. So, in closing, I'd like to say something about, I'm sure most of you have heard about this, that about John Adams when he occupied the White House. Forgive my notes, I get excited. And isn't this romantic with the rain? I like to get out and just sing in the rain. Maybe at the end of this, let's sing the song, Singing in the Rain. Okay, I'd like to read this letter that President John Adams wrote to his wife Abigail on November 11, 1800, the day after he moved to the White House. As a matter of fact, President Roosevelt had this letter in gold and in marble over the fireplace at the state dining room of the White House. I pray heaven to bestow the best of blessing on this house and all that shall here there inhabited. May none but honest, caring, and wise men occupy this roof. And this is my prayer for this community, for our cities, in regards to high-speed rail, and everyone who will live under this roof. So I want one day for us to have this rally of victory, of that we have gotten what we have asked for. Remember, I am for high-speed rail. I'm not objecting to that. I think it's good for us. Look what's happening in Europe, in other countries. Even dictatorship like Iran have high-speed rail, but not at the cost of our livelihood, not at the cost of our environment, not at the cost of the money for our schools, for our kids. Get your act together and respect our voices. Thank you.